I've let a lot of people down, and I realize that, and no one is more disappointed in me than I am. As many of you know, I grew up in a home where there was domestic violence, and I saw firsthand what uncontrolled rage could do. I have sought and I'm continuing to seek help to ensure that what occurred in February can never happen again. And as I sit here today, I can tell you that I will do everything in my power to make sure that it never happens again, and I promise that. What I did was unacceptable, 100%. I can only ask and pray that you forgive me, please. I hope that others learn from my mistake. I intend to live my life so that I'm truly worthy of the term role model. Thank you.
For the past 17 years, Chris Brown has been in legal trouble, with more than half of those documented events being crimes against women, each growing more volatile than the last, and yet women spend thousands to be sexually exploited by the same individual who shows the lack of respect for the demographic. This video was not created to tear him down, but I refuse to follow the mammy, savior rhetoric black women provide for men like Chris, stating what he has done is factual. And Chris's constant lack of accountability is what allows these situations to keep happening. And honestly, I'm concerned for the spiral I see with him. And I'm even more concerned for the fans and individuals he is surrounded by who coddle this grown man child. Now, I will capture each arrest from the first known and most impactful because it involved then girlfriend and now billionaire Rihanna back in February 2009.
Chris Brown has pleaded guilty to one count of felony assault on pop star Rihanna.
Case number BA353571, you're charged in a felony complaint of committing the crime of assault by means likely to produce great bodily injury in violation of Penal Code Section 245, Subdivision A, Subdivision 1, which is a felony committed on or about between February 7th and February 8th, 2009. Do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes,
ma'am. Your attorney has advised the court that you wish to enter a plea of guilty to that charge. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Brown is shown here in court Monday. Brown will be sentenced August 5th. The terms of his plea deal call for him to serve 5 years of formal probation and 6 months, about 1,400 hours, of community labor. Brown will be able to complete his probation in his home state of Virginia. He'll either have to do graffiti removal or roadside cleanup for his service. An LA Superior Court judge also ordered the singer to stay away from Rihanna.
He went on an apology tour. I'll give him that. And he even gained Rihanna's support again. But he did a lot of weird shit after his sentencing, including dressing up as the Taliban for Halloween and attending Rihanna's party, violating their then restraining order, and getting this distasteful tattoo of a battered woman on his neck. Now, he says it was inspired by an artist, and you're going to see here in the side-by-side. But the timing was horrible. Even if true, you were just convicted for battery of a woman. Why would you tattoo one of any resemblance and flaunt it like a trophy? And to make matters worse, his first televised appearance on Good Morning America since the incident went horribly, to say the least.
Maurice Brown, Riding High, brand new CD out, Fame. It's out today. Already has 3 #1 hits, a 4th one climbing the charts, and the album is #1 on iTunes today. It's a far cry from the last time the two of us sat down, just months after he pled guilty to felony assault. He took responsibility for hitting his then girlfriend, Rihanna, and has spent the last 2 years rebuilding his life and career. My hair has grown a great deal since the last time I saw you too, Chris Brown. How are you?
I'm pretty good, yeah. Everything's good, yeah.
And thank you for sitting down for just a moment before. It's all about the music. Your fans are here, but you have been very good about talking with me a little bit about this, because we've gone through it and talked about it when I went to your home. What's going on now is that recently the restraining order against you that Rihanna had issued has been relaxed. Have you all... you can go to events and be in the same room. Have you all seen each other, been around each other?
I mean, not really. I mean, it's not really a big deal to me now as far as that situation. I think I'm past that in my life, and I think today is the album day, so that's what I'm focused on. So everybody go get that album.
And that is something that we are here to talk about, but thank you very much for willing to do that. Fame, F-A-M-E.
Yeah.
What does that stand for?
Fame, forgiving all my enemies, and definitely fans are my everything, and that meaning, like, you know, being able to go through everything I went through and show my fans that I love them, you know, that's what it is. And
Even the judge, though, afterwards said that you had served your time as far as the community service and that, and moving on. But have you been able to? How have you been able to?
I've been focusing on this album. I think this album is what I want people to hear and want people to really get into. So definitely, this album is what I want them to talk about, and not the stuff that happened 2 years ago.
I understand that. And thank you for allowing me to go back that way, because there have been a lot of people that were tweeting about it. But you do see the people that are out here, and it is about your music, and they have stood by you through thick and thin. So what is it about the music for you that helps you?
It enables me to, escape and be able to reach my fans. Because I think when you come to mainstream America and you come to different places in the world, people always want to, bring what the situation we're bringing up now. And I think eventually, it's just about my fans. It's not about that. I'm doing this for my fans, so I could care less what anybody else thinks.
Brown was on GMA Tuesday to promote his new album, FAME. During his interview with Robin Roberts, she asked him about the 2009 attack on his then-girlfriend. An agitated Brown tried to deflect the question and said, "I'm past that in my life." Brown performed after the interview, but the source said Brown then destroyed his dressing room and used a chair to break the window. Security was called, but not police.
Good morning, Robin. And Brown says he's sorry if he scared people here in our studios, but says that he didn't hurt anyone and was just blowing off steam. He claims he was angry after being caught off guard by a question about his past in the interview, but it was a question he knew would be discussed.
In a rambling message on BET, accompanied by a background music track, Chris Brown apologized.
Yesterday, first and foremost, I want to apologize to anybody who was startled in the office, anybody who was offended or really looked and disappointed at my actions, because I was disappointed in the way I acted. And a lot of people don't know what went down.
After Chris Brown's GMA appearance Tuesday, the singer stormed backstage in a rage. A cooler was thrown and this window was broken. Wednesday on BET's 106 and Park video countdown, Brown expressed his frustration over being asked a question about his past in the GMA interview.
Recently, the restraining order against you that Rihanna had issued has been relaxed. Have you all seen each other, been around each other?
I mean, not really. It's not really a big deal to me now as far as that situation. This album is what I want them to talk about, and not the stuff that happened 2 years ago. When I do interviews, we always send out like a talking point sheet, and if the network or whoever isn't compliant with what we want to do, and so we can equally accomplish a goal, we usually kind of back out and wait till it's a better situation, So when we actually did this event, everything was cool, we were supposed to perform, the talking points were, positivity, creative, and everything that was sent to me. It was about the album. That's what we were talking about. So as the interview proceeded, it was kind of thrown off. I was thrown off by it, and I felt like it was like, okay, they told us this just so they can get us on the show to exploit me. That's what I thought. And so I took it very, very hard.
But Brown was aware and was told his past would be brought up in the interview. As for those talking points, ABC News issued this statement. Chris Brown was invited on Good Morning America to perform and to be interviewed. There were no talking points offered.
Although you could see me upset, I kept my composure, did my performance, and when I got back, I just let off steam in the back. I didn't physically hurt anyone. I didn't try to hurt anyone. I just wanted to release just the anger that I had inside me, because I felt like I worked so hard for this music, and I love my fans, and I love to be able to make positive music that I felt like people kept just trying to take it away from me. So yes, I got very emotional, and I apologize for acting like that.
Let me set the tone for this next one. It's June 2012, and Drake and Chris are beefing over Rihanna. And further showing, the jealousy on Chris's end, because at this point, I think he was with Karrueche. Like, dude, move on. Anyway, Chris, being the petty king he is, he decided to deliver bottles to Drake's section. Now, supposedly, Drake declined, and then Chris's agitation grew, and it was clearly shown here in the escalation of him taking off his shirt, you know what I'm saying? But no one is clear who threw the first drink or punch, but all hell broke loose, resulting in dozens of injuries and thousands in property damage. He posted a cut on his chin, but some women suffered severe injuries, and he didn't stop there. The next incident is lore that many forgot about. This is before the constant surveillance that we have today. On January 28th, 2013, Chris Brown and his entourage jumped Frank Ocean outside of a recording studio. Now, the beef appears to stem from envy on Chris's part, in my opinion. Frank Ocean's success was immediate. Odd Future as a conglomerate was on fire. Still is to this day, honestly. And it took Chris 3 studio albums before winning a Grammy, and it only took Frank 1. All we have of proof is the bandages on Frank's hand and Chris refusing to stand after his Grammy win. The shade after was immediate on Frank's end, and again highlighted in the Blind album cover years later. But Chris spiraled after that.
Just into CNN, singer Chris Brown in trouble again. This time it involves a hit and run. Let's go straight to Los Angeles to Mark Istook with more on this. Mark, what do you know?
Well, singer Chris Brown is in the news again, and not for the reasons he wants to be. He's been charged with 2 misdemeanor counts for, one for hit and run and one for driving without a license. And this is all according to the LA City Attorney's Office. And those charges were filed this morning, and they stem from a minor auto accident that occurred back in May. Now, of course, Brown is currently on felony probation for assaulting his then girlfriend, Rihanna, back in 2009. And he's set to be arraigned on these new charges on July 15th, and he faces up to a year in jail if convicted. Now, we've reached out to reps for Chris Brown for comment, but in the meantime, Brown has been active on social media. He's been tweeting like crazy in the last hour. Here's a sample. He said, "It's not a hit and run if you get out of the car, exchange information, who has no damage to either cars. This is really ridiculous."
Tweets will keep Chris in trouble. You'll see this. But shortly after, he was accused of pushing and assaulting a female fan at a concert, resulting in injuries. And right after that, he was arrested again.
This morning, the 24-year-old remains behind bars, charged with felony assault. According to D.C. police, Brown and a man with him were arrested early Sunday morning after allegedly attacking 20-year-old Isaac Adams Parker outside the W Hotel in downtown Washington, D.C. Police say Parker sustained a bruised and swollen nose. This video posted on Brown's YouTube page shows him shortly before the incident, inside a nightclub where he'd been hosting a party. It's what happened next that's in question. The victim says in the police incident report he attempted to get into a photo with Brown, and the rapper said, quote, "I'm not down with that gay expletive. I feel like boxing." Brown then punched Parker in the face. According to the report, Brown's bodyguard threw a second punch. But Brown's camp claims the victim and a friend were trying to get on Brown's tour bus, and that Brown and his bodyguard were merely trying to stop him.
The issue is going to be whether prosecutors can prove that what he did is a violation of D.C. law. If that's the case, then he's subject to a violation in Los Angeles where he could get up to 4 years in prison.
This latest incident could spell major trouble, as Brown is still on probation for a 2009 assault conviction involving then-girlfriend Rihanna. Not to mention the R&B Bad Boys run-ins with the law earlier this year, fighting with singer Frank Ocean reportedly over a parking spot. And in June, police investigating his bottle-throwing brawl with rapper Drake inside a New York nightclub.
I think that this being his 3rd violation, the judge is probably going to throw the book at him.
To get ahead of his inevitable jail time, he rejected his plea in the D.C. brawl and voluntarily entered rehab, where he was diagnosed with PTSD and bipolar disorder, but was kicked out for violating their rules by throwing a rock through his enabling mom's window after she suggested and finally stood on business, saying that he stay in rehab longer. After being kicked out, the judge granted undeserving mercy by ordering him to rehab again at a different facility, but he was kicked out again for violating their rules, with them citing inappropriate conduct with the women there. Okay, the judge had enough, and Chris Brown was arrested and sentenced to 131 days in jail. Now, see, this should have wiped the slate clean. A fresh start for him. Fresh out of jail and off probation. Nothing can go wrong, right? Wrong. Okay? Wrong. 2 months later, he was accused of beating a man in Vegas. Charges were later dropped, but eyebrows were raised, especially in July 2015, when he was detained in the Philippines for 3 days on a fraud complaint by concert promoters. So supposedly he canceled a scheduled arena show in 2014. Shortly after, his visa was denied in Australia, and he was forced to cancel his tour. Now, many can't fathom this because here in the U.S., almost all of our faves are allowed to abuse women and still be viewed an acceptable entertainer of the masses, but many, especially those of color, are held to higher standards. Something we should adopt, honestly. It's not like he stayed out of trouble since then, but this showed deeper cracks in management. Now, later, shown when his ex-manager sued him, claiming that he was brutally attacked. Now, charges were dropped. Chris denies the claim, but where there is smoke, there is always fire. Okay?
Chris Brown is facing new assault allegations after a Brazilian model claims that he punched her after she tried to take a photo in his hotel room during a party, and he got upset and punched her in the face. Now, she went to the authorities with this, and they are investigating the case. Her name is Liziane Gutierrez. She's a Brazilian model. She claims she tried to take a picture of the R&B singer in his suite when he allegedly took her phone off her and punched her in the right eye.
Obviously, somebody is looking to get a check or start some shit. I don't know this old-looking bitch. This bitch is old, like, dusty. Look at her in the Jason Derulo's video. Like, she came to Vegas. She probably came to my room. It was too ugly to get in.
Call to 911 sparked a standoff after a woman claimed the singer put a gun to her face.
And now he's being booked on suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon. Let's go live to CBS 2's Crystal Cruz at police headquarters in downtown LA, where we believe Brown is right now. Crystal.
Hi, Paul. We've been out here for 6 hours now. We are waiting to speak to his high-profile attorney. We have a podium here just in case the attorney wants to come out. But tonight, we are hearing from the woman at the center of all of this. Chris Brown rushed to LAPD headquarters to be questioned tonight before being booked on charges of assault with a deadly weapon.
He was threatening me with the gun in my face.
So he had a gun in his pocket. He took it off of himself.
I don't know where it came from. I do recall him taking it from his side, so I don't know if he was already strapped with it.
The whole saga started in the early morning hours at Brown's upscale Tarzana home. Beauty pageant contestant Bailey Curran tells Entertainment Tonight she was there for a party when she was threatened.
I'm there waiting for my phone, and then the one friend goes back up, gets my phone, brings it back out to me, was very hesitant to give it back to me. I'm like, okay, why? And then he's like, you need to sign this NDA. And I'm like, I don't think so. I'm not signing anything. So I then took the phone from him and made a run for it.
Curran called police, who swarmed the rapper's home. Brown posted this on social media.
I'm not coming out. For what? Y'all gonna stop playing with me like I'm the villain out here, like I'm going crazy. I'm not. What I do care about is y'all defacing my name as a person and my character and integrity.
After getting a search warrant, detectives were seen going through Brown's home, some wearing surgical masks. They're not saying what they found inside. We're told Brown will be able to post bail tonight, but just how much and when, that's unknown. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Now, after all of that, he punched a photographer in the face in Tampa. The charges were dropped, but it's like Chris was living in a world where the rules didn't apply to him. Like, why can't he resolve conflicts without violence? I do not understand.
Hey, y'all chill, big dog, 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 you good, brother.
Now, the reason why everybody was so upset about Kehlani posted up with Chris recently is because back in like 2014, she used to date Party Next Door. All right, now keep in mind, stay with me. They broke up and then she started dating Kyrie Irving. Now, randomly after that, Party posted her in his bed and we were all like, what the fuck? She cheated, all right? And then she posted this long ass caption in the hospital, basically claiming that she attempted suicide and Party was there to save her life. Nothing more, nothing less. But we the people were not fucking having it. So Chris took to Twitter and was given an inch and he took a whole damn mile. Okay, he was going in on the tweets. Now, he wasn't necessarily lying. It was just wrong messenger. Wrong messenger. At this point, Chris was clearly a bully. Most of the comments were incredibly unnecessary, okay? He dragged it. And karma was swift in this case because right after, then girlfriend Karrueche filed and was granted a restraining order. Now, Chris was popping up anywhere she be. He was harassing her friends and her family, and he continued to claim he made her. And truly, it was sick to witness. Okay, I have my own personal issues with Karrueche and how I feel like after seeing everything that happened with Rihanna, I don't even understand why. Okay, she thought it was going to be any different, but it was honestly sad to watch. Okay, and he was proud of it too.
Hey, did y'all be complaining about niggas being like stalkers and love with y'all kind of crazy shit and get tired of them? Well, guess what? I'm one of them niggas. If I love you, bitch, ain't nobody gonna have you. I'm gonna make you miserable. I'm gonna chase that nigga out. I'm gonna chase your ass around.
An unidentified woman sued Chris for essaying her. It allegedly happened at his home. Now, it was later settled out of court. Okay, and then came this damn exotic monkey. So Chris obtained this monkey without a permit, so that forced California Wildlife to come and pick it up. And then after that, he was arrested in Paris on essay allegations again, but he was released and acquitted. And in true Chris Brown fashion, he dragged it.
Firing back at the woman who accused him of rape over the past week in Paris. He's filed a defamation lawsuit against her, saying she is lying and asking for criminal charges that could put her in prison for a year. Brown was arrested earlier this week and released. The rape investigation is ongoing.
Do not get me wrong. If you lie and say that someone essays you, you should be held accountable. Absolutely. But he exaggerated this acquittal because the previous R allegation settled out of court. So Chris has assaulted women before. A lot. And then came the colorism and the continuous women disrespect. In a song, he said he only wanted black women with nice hair. And we all know the harmful implications of that. Because what is good hair, y'all? So anyway, rapper and influencer Tokyo Vanity blasted a situation where he turned her friends away because they were dark-skinned. And he immediately came for her looks and weight, and his fans followed.
Okay, all that talking about, can you take me out and all that, like, that's not funny. Second of all, bitch, I'm not even your type. You into things of, lighter complexion, hair, fluid, cigarettes. I'm just saying, Puerto Rican women, white women, Asian women, and that's all fine because that's your preference and we are entitled to a preference. All I'm doing is calling it like I see it. When we was in the club in Miami and when we was in the club in LA, in your section, your rules was no darkies. You wouldn't let my homegirl in LA, but you let all her friends in. And in Miami, you wouldn't let my other homegirl in, but you let all her friends in. But y'all was talking about no dark-skinned women. All I'm saying is like a gangster, how you feel, stand on that shit. Because me, however I feel about anything, I'm going to stand on it 10 toes. Don't come changing your opinion and how you feel about shit because everybody bashing you. And furthermore, I told my homegirl not to even be in your section because she don't even do coke.
He later called everyone dummies because he has a song called Brown Skin Girl. And it's almost like that one person that's like, I'm not racist. I have black friends. I have a song with the word black in it, y'all. Later, he was accused of hitting one woman in LA and essaying another on a yacht. And all the while, he kept attacking anyone speaking up on this, even disrespecting artists who won't work with him or organizations like the NBA when they rescinded their invitation. And he keeps crying about the past, but behaved like this the last time that he played publicly with basketball. Like, be for real, y'all. Look at this. He's embarrassing to himself and to brands. And on top of that, the company that he decides to keep is absolutely wild. Now, whether you agree or disagree with Tory's sentencing, he was convicted of shooting a woman. Given Chris's past, public support for someone like Tory is disgusting. And after randomly saying, free him, he was swiftly jailed in Manchester. And this year, he was ordered to pay $13 million to his housekeeper after she was viciously attacked by his dogs. It's almost as if he lives on another planet. Seriously, what level of disorganization is this? Does he have a team, advisors, mentors, anyone? Instead, this grown-ass man joins a gang for street cred and support. It makes me wonder, where in his growth spurt did he gain such insecurities that forced this defiance? He has been compared to Michael Jackson based on talent. He got the Grammy. What's the problem? Some say he self-medicates through drugs. He has the money for the cars, but he crashes them. He's ordered to clean graffiti for community service, so he covers his house with it. It must be so exhausting to always feel at war. But see, Chris is truly at war with no one but himself, and he has been before his music career took off, I'm convinced. But he's a father now, and he continues to procreate and tour. There hasn't been a month without jarring headlines on Chris. We all know a Chris. He might be a brother, father, neighbor, somebody that we know, but we owe it to ourselves as peers of a Chris to hold his ass to the fire. The same ones permitting this are the same ones crying, rest in peace or free him when the inevitable happens.